Good morning. Today we are going to discuss the first chapter of Indian philosophy. As we know that our syllabus of the Indian philosophy, there is Indian philosophy, there is Western philosophy, there is social political philosophy, and there is philosophy of religion. There are four parts in philosophy optional syllabus. So Indian philosophy, this comes first in the order of the syllabus. Okay, and the first chapter of the Indian philosophy is Charvaka. So what we have in our hand is the last 50 years questions. Last 50 years question, and there are approximately 34 questions have been asked in the last 50 years. Okay, from 2021 to the last 50 years. And why do we require last 50-year question for every topic of the philosophy optional? We require last 50 years question because philosophy optional is more or less static subject. Okay, static subject, it doesn't change day by day regularly. Okay, so what we have is the last 50 years question. Last 50 years question, it is very much necessary because there are many questions that gets repeated because Charvaka philosophy is not going to change. Whatever it has said in the past, it is now also they are asking the same thing. Okay, so that's why it is more or less a static subject, and we philosophy in the Charvaka philosophy also, or in overall philosophy also, we require the last 50-year question because there are many questions that gets repeated. And secondly, we come to know that what to write and how to write. Okay, so what to write and how to write, we get the knowledge of what to write and how to write through the last 50 years question. So what to write means what whatever we are discussing in any chapter, and whatever the mentioned syllabus is there, because there are many things that are required to be comparative study, like similarities. If Charvaka philosophy is there, what are its similarities with other philosophers like David Hume? It has similarities with David Hume in the knowledge sphere, and it has differences with Jainism in the metaphysical sphere. Or J.S. Mill, he has also criticized यानी कि differences with the J.S. Mill. And Jeremy Bentham, he has similarity. So so we get all things what to write and how to write by seeing the last 50 years question. So it is very much important. Okay, so what to write, we have understood that what is the importance of last 50 years question, and we will discuss each and every question, each and every topic after the completion of the whole part, यानी कि whole one part. That is, if we are discussing the Charvaka philosophy, after discussing the Charvaka philosophy completing, then we will discuss, so that we can get a better idea about the topic discussed. So Charvaka philosophy and how to write, we get what to write after discussing, and how to write means writing a answer. It has many parts, like we have to give introduction first, then we have to explain the topic. Okay, then after that we have to see whether there is any similarities with the other philosopher, like Charvaka philosophy has similarities in the knowledge sphere. It has similarities with the David Hume of Western philosophy, and in the ethics sphere, it has similarities with Jeremy Bentham. That is also Western philosophy, British philosopher Jeremy Bentham. And then we write what is his criticism or differences with other philosophers. Like in the knowledge sphere, Jainism and other Indian philosopher has criticized the Charvaka. And in the ethics sphere, like J.S. Mill, how he has criticized the Charvaka philosopher or the Jeremy Bentham philosopher, because both have similarities. So if there is any criticism of the Jeremy Bentham philosophy, similar criticism we can also give to the Charvaka philosophy, because there are more similarities in the ethics sphere of the Indian philosophy Charvaka, and Western philosophy Jeremy Bentham. Okay, so last 50 years question is very important. We get the idea that what to write and how to write, and we also there are many questions that gets repeated. So last 50 years question is very important. Okay, and second important, structuring the question, as I have discussed. Okay, structure of the question, structure of writing, structure of writing, structure of answer. Okay, structure of answer writing, that introduction, body of the question, that is what is asked in the question. And second, thirdly, similarities, as we have discussed. Fourth, differences or criticism. And fifth, we have also to show what is its overall importance, or what is the importance of the topic discussed, what is its importance. Okay, and finally we can give, if according to the question, if there is asking if there is scope for the conclusion, then we can give also the conclusion. So these are called structure of the answer. Okay, now we are coming to the Charvaka philosophy. Charvaka. Okay, Charvaka philosophy. Charvaka philosophy. Charvaka, as we know, Indian philosophy is basically a search for the truth, search for the reality, that what is the reality, what is the truth. Okay, like as we say that Jainism, Jain Mahaprabhu, yani ki Vardhaman Mahavir, he has also left his home, and so that he can search for the reality, so that he wanted to know the reality behind the existential phenomenal world. Okay, what is the reality that exists behind this world. Okay, so similarly we can also see Gautam Buddha. He also left his home so that he can also know the truth, so that he can also know the reality behind the existential world, that what is the ultimate reality, what is the truth. Okay, because man is a rational creature. First of all, man is a rational creature. Man is a rational creature. He, until and unless his reason is satisfied, his mind is satisfied, he cannot get satisfaction. Okay, so mind is the, this is the only thing that differentiates man from the other creature, because man is more rational, man is more reasonable. Okay, so reason, so for the satisfaction of the reason, for the satisfaction of his knowledge, they have left, they have laid the, they have search for the truth, they have moved towards the search for the truth, they are trying to find the truth, they are trying to find the reality. Okay, so as we saw Gautam Buddha and every Indian philosopher, they are laid for the truth, the what is the truth, what is the reality behind all this phenomenal world, behind all these existential things. So Charvaka is also in Indian philosophy, first chapter of the Indian philosophy, Charvaka. He has also left for the truth, to how he can get the truth, how we can get the truth. So sources of knowledge, how he can get the truth. The truth, what he laid is the, what he laid Charvaka. So sources of, what is the sources? Charvaka has saw that we have many sources, almost six sources of the six sources to know a thing, that is perception, inference, testimony, comparison, arthapatti, and non-apprehension. We will discuss all the things as we progress. Okay, basically we are discussing how Charvaka has led for the search for the truth. When Charvaka started the search for the truth, we have five sources of direct knowledge, and the rest of the knowledge is our indirect knowledge, and only perception is the direct knowledge. Only perception is the immediate knowledge, and the rest knowledge becomes through indirect knowledge, that is mediate knowledge. Okay, perception, direct knowledge. Perception means sense. We have five senses: eyes, nose, ear, tongue, and touch. Okay, so we have five sources. Okay, so perception means sense object contact. The knowledge that we derive through our sense and object contact, that is called perception. That is called perception. Okay, this is called perception. Sense object contact, that is knowledge that we derive through senses. Okay, the knowledge that we derive through senses, this is called perception. Okay, so senses, our senses, five senses, to five types of knowledge. Like through eyes we get visual perception, through ear we get auditory perception, through tongue we get olfactory perception, or through nose we get olfactory perception, through touching something, through touch we get tactual perception. So we have five senses, and so there are five types of perception is there. Okay, five types of perception. So this is the, we get direct knowledge, immediate knowledge, and so Charvaka has accepted that this is valid. Charvaka has accepted that this is valid. Okay, now other sources of knowledge like inference, verbal testimony. Okay, inference knowledge, this is one sources of knowledge. Second sources of knowledge, inference, like inference. So inference, what is inference? Inference means mediate knowledge. Inference, the knowledge that we get, the knowledge that we derive from our previous knowledge. Infer, we infer something. Like we say that there are fire in the mountain. How we can say there are smoke on the mountain? So after seeing the smoke we conclude that there are fire on the mountain. How we conclude? Because this knowledge is based on our previous knowledge. We have seen many instances that where there is smoke there is fire, wherever there is smoke there is fire. We have seen on our previous knowledge. So similarly we infer that if that we see there is smoke on the mountain, so what we infer? That there must be fire on the mountain. How we get through knowledge? Because on the previous occasion we have seen many instances that wherever there is smoke there is fire. So we infer by seeing the perceptible thing, we infer the unperceptible thing. By seeing the smoke we infer that there is fire on the mountain, there is fire. So we infer, that's why this is mediate knowledge. Mediation, that is indirect knowledge, not direct knowledge. Direct knowledge we get of the smoke, direct knowledge we get of the smoke, and indirectly we infer that there is fire on the mountain. Okay, so but Charvaka said that this is not a valid source of knowledge. How he said that this? Okay, this is further invalid. This is, he said that there is invalid sources. How he concluded this is invalid? Because he said that inference is based on our previous knowledge, but as a human being we are finite. Okay, we have not seen many instances of that wherever there is smoke there is fire always. Okay, smoke can be in the nitrogen gas also, like in the many things, to cool a thing we put some nitrogen, but smokes also come out, but we cannot say that there is always fire. Similarly we say if there is a large block of ice, okay, ice bar, large block of ice, so smoke comes out from there also, but there is no fire. So similarly Charvaka has given similar types of reason, that we have also not seen that there are many instances in the past and many instances come in the future, that wherever there is smoke there must be always fire. We cannot say, because we are finite things. Okay, it will lead to the, if we will say that wherever there is smoke there is fire, it will lead to the fallacy of illicit generalization. Okay, inference leads to the fallacy of illicit generalization. Illicit generalization मतलब from individual instances, from particular instances. After seeing some cases we conclude that in all the cases it will be same. Or after seeing individual or particular cases, we generalize that in everywhere, in every sphere, there must be fire, there must be any same thing. That is called generalization, but it is illicit, that is wrong knowledge. Okay, because we have seen only individual cases, we have seen only particular cases. Why? Because we are finite human beings, we have not seen in the past also, we have not seen the future also, that there must be smoke, there must be fire wherever there is smoke. Okay, in the past, future, or from every different parts of the world also, different parts of the universe also. So we cannot say that, because inferential knowledge is based on previous knowledge. As we say, we infer something, so based on previous knowledge. But as a human being, we are finite thing. So if we conclude from the particular instances to generally, we conclude that wherever there is smoke, there is fire. So it will lead to the fallacy of illicit generalization. That's why Charvaka said that it will be invalid sources of knowledge. That's why Charvaka have not accepted inference as a valid sources of knowledge. Okay, and thirdly, if testimony, testimony means testimony testimony means reliability. Reliability of, there are two types of reliability. Reliability of spoken person, like reliable person, whatever he whatever he speaks, that is called testimony. First. Second is the scriptural. Okay, like whatever is written in the reliable scripture, like Ved or any other scripture, so it will be reliable, it will be testimony. So testimony, there are two types. Reliability of reliable testimony means reliability, that is reliability of spoken words by a reliable person. Thirdly, reliability of written text. Okay, reliable text. Okay, so there are two types of testimony, but Charvaka has also said that this is invalid. How he said? This is invalid sources of knowledge. This is our invalid source, because he said that reliability, if you said that reliable person always speaks truth, so we can rely on him, so it comes under inference. We infer that in the past he has said right, so in the future also he will say always right. So it, because it comes under inference. How? In the past also, inference means based on the previous knowledge. Okay, we infer that there must be in the future also, there must be same thing. Okay, so testimony is based on the inference, because we infer that a person, whatever he has said, spoken words, it must be also right. Okay, in the future also, like Yudhishthir, he always speaks true, so we can believe that whatever in the future also he will speak the truth. But this has not happened. We have seen when the murder of Dronacharya was there in the Mahabharata aspect, he has spoken a lie. So how there is reliability? So we cannot rely that in the past he has spoken the truth, in the future also he will speak the truth. That's why just Charvaka say that this is invalid sources of knowledge. And also written scripture. Written scripture means like Veda, that we rely on him. We believe that if whatever sources of information it gives, it is correct. So like we say that Veda. Veda means, okay, like we say that there is Veda. Veda. So Veda, he said that Veda, we cannot believe in the Veda also. Although many different philosophers like after the Buddhism, all philosophers have accepted Veda as the valid sources of knowledge. Only Veda has not accepted by the Indian philosopher in Charvaka, Jainism and Buddhism. Only three philosophers. Rest all the philosophers they have accepted. So Veda Charvaka has not believed as a valid source. Why? Because he said that we get the knowledge of the God. See here, we get the knowledge of the God. How we get the knowledge of the God? We get the knowledge of the God through Veda. We get the knowledge of the God through Veda. But Who has written the Veda? Who has written the Veda? Veda is written by God. Veda is written by God. So we get the knowledge of the God through Veda, and Veda is written by the God. This is circular fallacy. This is circular fallacy. That's why this is called circular fallacy. Okay, this is circular fallacy. That's why Charvaka said that we cannot rely on the scripture also, because scripture we have seen there is circular fallacy. So circular fallacy or any types of, yani ki it is not a valid sources of knowledge, because he has proved that sometimes circular fallacy comes, sometimes illicit generalization comes, sometimes other types of fallacy come, and scripture and spoken words, we have seen spoken words of the reliable person like Yudhishthir also we cannot thought, because inference that on previous occasion he has spoken the truth, so in the afterwards also in the future occasion also he will speak the truth. We cannot rely on that. Okay, because he has seen, we have seen that Yudhishthir has also spoken lie. Okay, so it becomes also invalid source. Inference also become invalid because it leads to illicit generalization. So illicit general, because from the particular instances we generalize that everywhere it will be true. From particular, sometimes we have seen and we see that at all times it will be valid. So it leads to invalid sources. Okay, it also leads to the invalid source. So similar this way, in this way Charvaka conclude that only perception is the valid sources of knowledge, and rest of the other sources, inference and testimony or any other sources, it comes under, if we closely examine, it comes under inference or testimony or any other sources, it becomes invalid sources. Charvaka accepted that in our day-to-day activities we take, sometimes we take help of these sources of knowledge, but we cannot say that this is valid sources, this remains invalid sources. Okay, we cannot rely on them, we cannot say that this is valid. So validity only perception, because it is a direct knowledge, we cannot doubt on it. We are seeing that there is bulb, we are seeing that there is blackboard, visual perception, we cannot say that no there is no, this is direct knowledge, so this remains valid. Sometimes we hear, so this remains valid sources of knowledge. Okay, so we cannot say that this is invalid, but in this we can doubt, we can have doubt, so all these things remain invalid sources of knowledge. Although in our day-to-day activities we take help of this, but this remains as a invalid sources of knowledge. So senses, five types of senses are there, five types of senses. On the basis of five types of sense organs there are five types of perception. Okay, so Charvaka, after seeing that perception is the only sources of knowledge, what Charvaka concludes is that metaphysics. Then Charvaka comes on the sixth of metaphysics. Metaphysics mean metaphysics. Okay, metaphysics. Metaphysics. Metaphysics, discussing about the theory of metaphysics, is the theory of reality. The theory of reality, metaphysics, beyond physics. That what is the reality beyond physics? We as an Indian philosopher think that what is the reality behind all this existential thing? What is the reality? Okay, so Charvaka said that only perception in the epistemology. This is the theory of knowledge. In the epistemology sphere, Charvaka has accepted only in the epistemology sphere or in the theory of knowledge sphere, Charvaka has accepted that only perception is the valid, rest are invalid. So on the basis of this, Charvaka derives his metaphysics. Metaphysics means like discussing about beyond what is the reality behind all this existence. Something say like soul, God, or etc. or law of karma. Okay, law of karma, law of karma or anything. There are many things, heaven, hell. Okay, like heaven, hell, or anything you can say. Okay, so But Charvaka said that we cannot get through perception, we cannot say there is soul, because perception is the only direct source, perception is the only valid source, perception is the only reliable source. But through perception, there is no soul. We cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot touch, we cannot taste, and we cannot yani ki smell also. There are 5 types of perception, but through 5 types of perception, we find that there is no soul. So Charvaka has given that there is no soul at all. Okay, and God also we cannot touch God, we cannot hear God, we cannot see God, we cannot taste God, we cannot smell God. So Charvaka has said that God, there is no God. Similarly, he has said everything: law, karma, heaven, hell, and everything, that whatever thing comes in the metaphysical aspect, theory of the reality means behind the phenomenal existence, behind the existential thing, whatever we see, that what is the reality behind it. Somebody said that God has made all these things. Okay, so reality, God is the ultimate reality. But Charvaka said no, that we cannot have. Say similarly in the soul sphere also we see Charvaka, we say that there is soul present in the body. But Charvaka says that we cannot get through perception knowledge of the soul. So 5 types of perception, and God, soul, and everything doesn't come. It's okay, it's fair. So Charvaka said that neither there is God nor there is soul, no God, and neither anything. Okay, so this is its metaphysical. Then, but we find that human body has the consciousness. Human body has consciousness. Then, from how this consciousness comes, we say that it is the soul that is speaking. Okay, we say that this is the consciousness that is present in our body that is speaking. Okay, so how we get the consciousness? Okay, we say how we get the consciousness. Consciousness. Charvaka has given a very good example. Okay, Charvaka has said that we have the consciousness because, as we say that there is pan, supari, katha, and chuna. Okay, so after mixing all this in there, like we say there is betel leaf. Okay, there is lime, there is nut, there is, so after mixing all these things, रेड टिंज कम, यानी कि लाल कलर आ जाता है. हाउ? बिकॉज देर आर इनहेरेंट प्रॉपर्टी इन वट इट हैज दिस नेचुरल प्रॉपर्टीज inherent in them, and after mixing all these things red tinge come. Okay, so similar is the case of our body. Okay, after mixing the 4 things, okay, like 4 things like fire, okay, fire, earth, water, and air, no space, आकाश we say, no space. Okay, how? Say Charvaka said that after mixing the fire, Charvaka said that every material thing or the immaterial thing, non-material thing, okay, whatever we like our body, okay, this is life. Okay, and the thing that does not have life, everything is made up of fire, earth, water, and air. Charvaka has accepted only this because this can be perceived, this because this is a direct knowledge. Air, we touch air, through touching we say oh there is air, direct knowledge. Fire, we perceive. Earth, we perceive. Water, we perceive, okay, visual perception. Air, through tactual perception. So we get the knowledge of all these things through perception. But space or akash means here space. We get the knowledge of space through indirect knowledge. Indirect knowledge means, like we say, indirect knowledge, like we say that everybody exists in some space. Everybody requires its existence when there is space. So this is infer, we infer that to a body, for its existence there is space. Okay, this is inferential knowledge. And Charvaka, as we see, so inferential is invalid. Okay, that's why on this basis akash, space, Charvaka has not accepted. Okay, so this is direct knowledge, this is perceptual knowledge. So Charvaka says every material and the immaterial thing, okay, non-material thing, we get conscious, it is made up of these four elements. And when these four elements combine in a particular way in a in a definite proportion, in a particular way, in a unique way, then automatically consciousness comes out, then accidentally consciousness comes out, okay. So consciousness he has given the, okay, accidentally, okay, accidentally. That's why Charvaka philosophy is also called accidentalism, because accidentally consciousness comes out, because all these things have the natural properties, all these things has a swabhav, inherent properties, swabhavad. It is also called swabhavad, because swabhavad means everything has its own particular nature, and when this particular nature gets combined in a particular way, in a definite proportion, in a unique way, then automatically consciousness comes out from this. Like as we have seen, when we mix the lime, when we mix the betel leaf, when we mix the nut, although there are no inherent redness in this, but when they are mixed together, then accidentally red color comes out, okay. Like पान सुपारी चूना और कत्था में कोई वैसा चीज नहीं रहता है, दैट मीन्स उसका कोई लाली उसमें नहीं रहती है, लाल कलर। लेकिन जब वो पर्टिकुलर विक्स में मिक्स किया जाता है, च्यू किया जाता है, चबाया जाता है, तो लाल कलर आ जाता है ऑटोमेटिक।